What is up, guys? Let's do a quick little ride. I've been going to a lot of car meets recently. Weather got a little nicer, so it's fun just to get out, see people. Car community really is a lot of fun. You meet some interesting people, get to learn from them, and then get to share what you learned. It's a big circle, and if you embrace it, you can get a lot out of it. But I get asked a lot of questions, anything from, the experience with a single turbo M4, why'd you do it, what did you give up, what's it like to drive, what the hell do I do? So I figured I'd just take a really quick ride and answer some of these questions. It's funny, going back to my old Honda days, if you wanted to add 100 horsepower, you had to do an engine swap. You would end up with no power steering, you had no air conditioning, and you barely had anything in your car left. But you had 100 more horsepower and the thing boogied at the time. This thing came with 500 horsepower and I dynoed damn near close to 900. I didn't give up a single thing. I mean, the car still drives itself. Air conditioning's going real good. That reminds me, I gotta put on the cooled seat real quick. There we go. And I mean, the thing handles perfectly fine, drives perfectly fine. I didn't give up anything. The argument would be that you give up some of the drivability because there is a little bit more turbo lag. And once you either accommodate some settings, so the drive logic I typically keep in 2 instead of 1. I'm just used to it by now. I mean, the thing sounds pretty much factory. It whistles a little more while I'm, just kind of coasting. But until I actually get on it, it's quiet. I tuned out all those burbles and pops and bangs and things, and it's not loud and rowdy or anything. I mean, hell, I'll show you. The thing drives itself. What do? You just push this fucking button and bam, assisted driving. It wants you to touch the wheel once in a while. I actually prefer this more than the Tesla one. It always wants you to do something stupid. You can't accelerate on the Tesla one very easy without it cutting out. I could even change lanes in this thing. If I push the blinker, it will automatically change the lane for me. So yeah, thing drives perfectly fine. In fact, I took it to BMW for my oil change. Thing's new enough where I get a couple free oil changes, so I got my free oil change. They gave it a once-over, said everything looked good, maintained it like a regular car. I mean, sure, it's missing a turbo and place it has a much bigger one. Other than that, it's still a turbo car, and you treat it exactly like it's factory. I changed the spark plugs a little bit more frequently than if I was completely stock. Sure, that's fine. Some of the maintenance is a little bit more frequent. But that's the trade-off. I didn't give up any feature function. Drivability is relatively similar. Other than that, it's all similar. Would I do it again? Yep. This thing is fun. I get asked all the time, what do I do for a living? I've been in AI for the past maybe 6 years before it was actually cool and before it was a thing. Did some e-commerce stuff before that, but I've always been in software of some sort. It's interesting. I get people curious about software in general and asking about if they wanted to make a transition. Right now, what I see in AI is that there's a lot of people try to learn how to code, and coding's not the problem. It's figuring out what language models are trying to do. That becomes a challenge. So something that can be picked up relatively quickly would be prompt engineering. And a lot of the people that are trying to do it now are hardcore engineers. They're really good at writing code. The way AI works is not like that. You have to understand and have a little bit of artistic ability to understand what it's trying to do. The conventional AI side, being able to generate various models and stuff like that, that will always be there. You always have to have that for things like statistics and predictive, fraud, all that fun stuff. But on the generative side, people really don't understand how to make it work for business. And the problem is that a lot of these language models, like Gemini or ChatGPT, if you think about it, they are actually consumer products. I can ask it how much volume is in my trunk. It's trained on the entirety of the internet. Where there's a huge opportunity for people, I believe, is being able to get those language models, and particularly small language models, to work for businesses. The challenge is that you don't want to train a large language model on your corporate's data. Otherwise, I could then ask it, what's the profit margin for Walmart's healthcare category? Right? That's something that they will never do. So if you can figure out how to do prompt engineering and train models for businesses, I see people being able to quickly get into it, because this is something that these businesses cannot take time to figure out on their own, and it pays really well. So that's what I do, is AI software. I help businesses across the board, many different use cases, some of the Fortune 10s, and I don't know. It's somewhat fun. It can be interesting. Every day is different, and it's just always what I've known. I'm curious, what would you guys want to know? I mean, is there anything that you want to know about this M4? Everybody asks how much power it makes. I put out the video before. It put down 866 at the wheels. It was on an all-wheel drive dyno and put down that 866 up in Dallas. Future plans, I have some wheels and suspension coming. I'm pretty excited about that. I actually have two other cars. If you're only familiar with this M4, I have a 2016 BMW Z4 35IS. That thing is completely stock. I'm getting the wheels powder coated right now, and I plan on leaving it stock. That thing is actually the most fun car that I have to drive, so I don't want to mess that up. The daily driver is a Tesla Model S Plaid. I kept getting daily drivers and modifying them, and then they would defeat the purpose of having the daily. So I figured I'd get something that I couldn't modify as much or dump as much money into. And I don't know, frankly, it's the perfect daily. It's perfect for dogs. I volunteer my time once in a while up at the animal shelter. I take the dogs out, and they seem to like the Tesla, so I'm not going to hate on it. I'm curious, what would you guys like to know? It's funny, for work, I talk all day. I'm problem solving, things like that. When it comes to car stuff, I've always liked taking pictures and just doing short videos and stuff like that. So talking to the camera is a little different for me. If you guys want some topics that you're curious to hear about, I love being able to learn. So, like, eventually I will go with a stroked motor and stage 3 trans and all that fun stuff. This will be just strictly a drag racing car. But if you want to know, like, what compression am I going to be running, which internals, all of that fun stuff, be completely transparent. I do my research, and I have a shop up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, RK Auto Works. They're the ones that did all of the engine work so far, and I bounce ideas off of them. But for the real nitty-gritty, do you have to hone out this? Do you have to, you know what? That's not my specialty. I would rather ask any of the other people that put out specific engine content and all that fun stuff. But I don't know. If you guys just want to see some rides, I'm in the Austin area. Happy to give a tour. Any of you guys out on a cruise? Funny enough, met a couple dudes at a couple of the car shows. Turns out they've seen a video before, which is wild to me because I think I have like 100 people that watch the videos. So to bump into somebody at a car show was, I thought he was kidding. I thought he had the wrong dude, and it was the right dude. So I thought it was really cool. And I'll say this again. I'm going to close this out the same way that I started it. The car community is a ton of fun. You surround yourself with the right people, you can learn a ton. Don't just look to learn stuff, look to how you can share what you've learned also, because it reinforces your learning. So selfishly give. And hopefully that's what I'm able to do with some of these videos. So just post some questions. Happy to either answer them in the comments, or if it's a discussion, I'll make a video about it. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.